Is that better? In the back?
Yeah.
Is that better? Okay, so yeah, he was asking me about the alkaline water, and the reason is because on the show, I said, you know, there are a lot of people that are getting sick now from excessive alkaline water usage. Okay, you know, all things in life are about balance when you're dealing with, you know, biology. Everything is about biology, and you know, we need acid in the body. Okay, we need acid in the body. The same way, you know, people, you know, since diabetes is ravaging the community, everybody is running away from sugar. You know, just cut the sugar out your diet. You know, and that's not safe either, because your body needs sugar. Your cellular membrane is composed of sugar. Okay, it's this the aspect of whether you are consuming a lot of simple sugars or complex sugars. Your body needs complex sugars. This is how your body produces ATP, which is you know, the major form of energy in the body outside of hydrogen. Okay, so your body needs sugar. You just need complex sugars, and complex sugar is basically I won't digress too deep into sugar, but I want to get to the brother's question with the water. But sugar, in its natural form, has minerals and water surrounding it and attached to it. When you process the sugar, you strip the sugar of the water, and you strip the sugar of all of the minerals that are attached to it. So now, when the sugar, when you ingest the sugar in your body, what the sugar does in your body, before it even, okay, it's Sunday, before it even wreaks havoc on the pancreas, because that's where the diabetes kicks in, once the pancreas starts to malfunction, what it does is it pulls the water and the minerals that you already have in your body out of your body to reconstruct back its molecular balance. So the minerals that were stripped from it in the processing, in the process of being processed, it now pulls out of your body. The water that it's missing, it now pulls out of your body. When you bite into fruit, that juice is water. Okay, everything is water. So this is one of the reasons why sugar is so dangerous when you're dealing with, you know, white sugars and you know, processed sugars. And then as you get into other things like dextrose and fructose and things like that, those are even more dangerous, because the government, or FDA anyway, has seen fit to tell people that process and manufacture food goods that if you're using those synthetic sugars, you don't have to say that you have sugar in the product. So you can, you know, like you can make a pack of brownies and put sugar free on it, because technically there's no sugar per se in there, but it's loaded with fructose, dextrose, aspartame, and all that kind of stuff. And you know, that's the aspartame is how you get like multiple sclerosis and things of that nature, because all of these things feed what's called yeast in the body. And our traditional knowledge of yeast is that, you know, women who don't douche or clean themselves properly get yeast, you know. But yeast is a male problem, just like it's a female problem. In fact, in this room right now, probably 9 out of 10 of us, men, have a yeast infection right now. 9 out of 10 of us. And a lot of times, women get yeast infections from dealing with us, because that's not in our conscious, that we need to deal with yeast. You know, we need to detox for yeast. Most diseases are yeast that run loose and rampant in the body. And when they attack a certain area, doctors name it. Okay? So even diabetes, you have an overpopulation of yeast in your pancreas, shutting it down. Okay? Autoimmune disease, like even as far as like cancer, AIDS, things like that, those are yeast based. Even man-made disease, like when we I'm assuming everybody here is pretty up to date with certain levels of information. When we deal with man-made diseases, biological weapons, right? They create the little bug, but what they do is they inject the bugs into yeast so that the yeast can carry it into your body where it needs to be effective at. Okay? Now, normally, we have what's called good bacteria in the body, and good bacteria in the body, along with the enzymes, help to keep the bad bacteria or yeast in check. Keeps those niggas in line. Okay? But due to antibiotics, over-the-counter medications, sugar, starch, we heavy on the starch. And then a lot of us that are trying to do the vegetarian thing and convert from eating meat, we wind up in a nasty middle place, which is starchitarians, right? We cut the meat out, but we still load it up on the potato salad, the macaroni and cheese, the rice, so it's just a lot of starch and a lot of sugar, and that's also just as dangerous. You might as well have kept the chicken going, okay? And just to give you an example of how dangerous it is, you can do the math in your own mind. Crack cocaine is 97% starch. So it's just, so when you have the McDonald's fries and you wonder why you gotta go back and get them again, it's the same, okay? Starch is a drug. Sugar is a narcotic, okay? Processed sugar is a narcotic. In fact, the same process they use to make white processed sugar is the same that they use to make heroin. It's the same process. Just different plants they started off with. Okay? So, to get to the brother's question about the water, I'm sure we're familiar with Dr. Sabi, most of us should be, and he talks about the hybrid foods versus whole natural foods. When you're dealing with Kangen water would be classified as a hybrid form of water. Okay? It's not whole. Okay? It's not living. It's not natural. Nature doesn't run an electric field through the water and separate the water molecules and give you half. It doesn't do that. Now, the water is extremely beneficial on a temporary basis, and it depends on individual health. Okay, so if you have cancer or something like that, where your body's in an extreme acidic condition, by all means, as much as you can get down. However, when you come out of that condition, it can be detrimental for you. And so I got the whiteboard. Let me just put a little diagram up there so you can see what I'm saying. All right, so this is kind of a loose diagram on what a water molecule would look like. Something like that. Okay? That's a very loose presentation on what a water molecule would look like. Now, it's a dipolar molecule, just like a magnet. So you have a positive aspect and you have a negative aspect. Okay? Follow me? When you run the electric current through the water molecules, this is what you do to it. You cut the water molecule in half. So now you have some of the minerals that are in the water line up and attach themselves here. Some line up and attach themselves here. And you get your acid and your alkaline streams of water. They run that one way, run that one out the other way, and they tell you can wash your face with this, and this one is the one you drink. Okay? However, that's not natural, because that's not structured water. Water in its natural living essence it's like first of all, water doesn't prescribe. Just so y'all don't think I'm crazy. Water is the only thing on earth that doesn't follow any of the laws of physics. Okay? So where most things come in a liquid, solid, or gas, water has a whole nother state, and it's called a liquid crystal. Okay? And when you're dealing with living structured water, that's what you're dealing with, a liquid crystal. And it looks like this. Alright, so this is structured water. Structured. The molecules line up, they squeeze in very tight, okay, and they fit together. And when you have structured water, no toxins can survive in that water. No toxins can fit in that water. There's no room for them, okay? You have something that's called superconduction. Superconduction is when electricity flows without resistance, okay? When you have structured living water, you have a superconductor, okay? That basically eliminates all toxins. When you have ionized water, you don't have that, okay? Ionized water, the process of ionizing it basically adds extra electrons or extra protons to an atom, okay? So when you have an atom that's even, where the electrons match the amount of protons in the nucleus, okay, that's an atom. The moment that there's an extra electron or extra proton, I know this is getting a little scientific, but the moment there's an extra electron or extra proton, you have a ion, okay? And if there's an extra electron, you have a negative ion. If there's an extra proton, you have a positive ion, okay? That's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with ionized water, okay? So the water molecules are actually in half. Now, what's happening is normally this problem, that's the main problem attributed to excessive alkaline water, is not seen in anyone except senior citizens in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And it's about not producing enough hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Okay? When you don't produce enough hydrochloric acid in the stomach, it doesn't matter what type of diet you're on, because your stomach will not be able to digest the food. Period. Okay? Your food goes through many stages before it actually becomes nutrients that could be assimilated into the blood. The first being, the hydrochloric acid has to get busy and break it down. Before it goes through the duodenum and gets to the intestines where hydrolysis occurs, that's where water now breaks it down, because your blood is 95% water. So prior to being converted into blood, the nutrients are added to water, and the water comes through the intestinal walls and then, to the liver to be cleaned, but then we have blood. So when you can't make enough hydrochloric acid, your body can't break the food down. So you get stuck in two places. Either it'll just come straight out and your body will absorb any nutrients, so you wind up malnutrition, or your stomach will pull all the water out of the cells in your body, leaving the rest of your body dehydrated so that it can make hydrochloric acid. Okay, right in the beginning of hydrochloric acid, you see the base, hydrogen, it's water. Okay, it's a hydrogen-rich acid. Okay, so you're stuck with one or two things. Either your body's going to be dehydrated, or you're not going to get any nutrients. Okay, and if your body sucks the water out of the cells in order to create the hydrochloric acid, what's going on, bro? You won't have any water left in the intestine to turn those nutrients into blood. So you're stuck either way. So, as far as that's concerned, we just got to do all things in moderation, and remember that you got to do the whole goal of health is to get the body back to homeostasis, balance. Okay? So not only does the stomach need acid to function, but your brain needs acid to function. Okay? So you need acid. This is the whole thing about, they're trying to push the fish oils. Okay? You need fatty acids in the brain. Your brain won't be able to function without them. Okay? And this is the type of water, structured water, that your cells are made out of. Okay? So you don't want to drink water that's unstructured, because then a lot of the hydration, a lot of energy in the water is wasted by the cells trying to convert that water into cellular water. That's what cellular water is. It's structured, living, coherent water. Go ahead, bro. Absolutely good to practice veganism. But veganism is, what I wanted to say about that is, it's not the absence of meat on your plate. vegan, to be a vegan or vegetarian means that you only eat vegetables. A lot of people think that being a vegetarian means that they don't eat meat. So they still loaded up on French fries, rice, macaroni and cheese, and potato salad, and that's not being a vegetarian. That's just not eating meat. There's a difference, you know. So you just got to be loaded up on veggies. Well, there's inside of a lot of the plants, you have the fatty acids and things like that. So the plant kingdom has pretty much everything. Once we get, you know, deeper into eating a lot of the spectrum of the vegetables, you need to try to get, you know, green leafy vegetables like kale is the best. And there's going to be some kale over there on deck. But, you know, we want to get some of the other colors, some eggplant in there. No. If anything, that breaks down the structure of the water. Yeah. Water that's been dammed, bottled, you know, water that's stagnant is not living water. It's not living water. Water that flows through a pipe is not living water. Water needs to spiral, things of that nature. It needs certain elements in there too. The mineral content of the water is more important than that. You know, that's why, I have a supplement coming, and it's hydrogen based. So that way we're adding hydrogen directly to the water. As far as, because you know when you measure alkaline is about pH. Potential hydrogen, right? So as black folks, we like to cut the middleman. We don't need to deal with potential. We just add the hydrogen, okay? And it's a lot more bioavailable, and your cells get hydrated a lot faster that way, okay? There's also bioavailable organic form of compound in there directly to deal with rejuvenating our melanin, right? Because we're not addressing that issue. We hear about the melanin, right? But we're not addressing it directly. And melanin is created in the body from tyrosinase. Tyrosinase is created in the body from an amino acid called tyrosine. And tyrosine at its base is just 2 copper atoms. It's copper. So that's why copper is so crucial. Ozone generator, as far as for you, for water, that's drinking adding ozone. That's just like adding oxygen to the water, and that's cool. Limited, you know, if you have a sickness or an illness, you know, I would maybe do that a little bit. Like I have some in my cabinet. It's H2O2. Basically, it's peroxide. And it's basically peroxide. And you can add a little bit to a gallon, and it's cool. But what happens with that is it has a tendency to release a lot of free radicals in the body, and they can go crazy and do some damage. So that's only good in, you know, particular situations. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that you want to regularly do, like just every day I'm gonna have me some oxygenated water. And oxygen itself is not, you know, we got to relearn a lot of stuff, because oxygen itself is not what you think. Oxygen is the reason why we take antioxidants. Okay, the air, the oxygen we breathe in oxygen because oxygen is so acidic that the normal bonds in an atom that keep the electrons tight together are very loose, which allows our lungs to separate the electrons from oxygen. Each oxygen atom has 8 electrons. So we get a lot of electrons. That's all our body's looking for is electrons. Electrons are what keeps the electricity flowing in the body. Okay, your body's electric. That's why Saving cures everybody with electric food. That's what the Alkaline was all based on, electricity in the body. So oxygen is so important because that's where we get our electricity from. Okay? And it's so acidic that the lungs can separate the electrons from the air, the oxygen, and assimilate them through the heart into the blood, and that's the difference between the red blood that's in the body and the blue blood that's in the body. Okay, red blood is freshly filled with electrons. It's oxygenated. Okay, once it goes through the body and feeds those electrons off to all the organs, it becomes blue because all of the electrons are sucked out of it. Okay, and but in the process of separating those electrons from the oxygen, now, because you have 8 electrons in an oxygen atom, but you also have 8 protons. So once the body grabs those 8 electrons, those 8 protons are now floating around, and those are free radicals. Okay? That's where we need antioxidants. You see antioxidant, antioxygen. That's what the whole push for antioxidants is for, is to get those free radicals or those loose protons out of the body, pull those on out of them. So,
question, I got a couple questions. What's the significance of like trace minerals added to the water for like chlorophyll?
Trace minerals are excellent. Chlorophyll is excellent. Only the commercial chlorophylls that are available on the market, I should say, aren't really bioavailable. So they just kind of run through the body. And we got to be careful with chlorophyll because yeast, the yeast that I was talking about that ravage the body, that yeast, in specific candida, comes from plants. Okay? There are two types of plants. There are plants that are chlorophyll based and there are plants that aren't chlorophyll based, just like the humans. There are humans that are melanin based and there are humans that are not melanin based. Right? So we see a running theme. Okay? But those plants that aren't chlorophyll based created yeast. And there's a very synthetic type of chlorophyll that they sell, and it doesn't really do anything for the body. So in the Momatomics is the name of the supplement. Is Momatomics. Momatomix. That'll be up soon. But it has chlorophyll in its natural form of chlorophyll. So it's green. It's gonna turn your water green. So get ready for it. What else?
My question was about the chlorophyll because I know it says copper.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing. These white folks want to get deep, talk about green people built everything. Green people, that's us. When you have something that's green and you put it in an oxygen-rich environment, it oxidizes, it turns it brown. So that's us. Okay? But that's what organic copper looks like. It's green. Organic copper is green.
Well, talking about the water ravaging through our bodies and everything, because I was trying to understand as far as like the cell membrane. You said something about the molecules might be too large to penetrate our.
Right. On the outside of the cell membrane, you have the little receptor sites. And if the water molecule is too large, it can't get into the receptor site. Okay, so you might drink some water and it might just run right through you and irrigate the body, which still cleans out some stuff, but it's not going to hydrate the cells, so you're still going to wind up thirsty. And a side effect of the body being dehydrated is the cells actually heat up and get swollen. When they get swollen, the receptors on the outside of the cell wall get smaller. So no water can get in, no nutrients can get in, and even worse, no toxins can get out. So the shape of the cell actually changes, okay, and the cells actually start to attack one another. Okay? And it just gets real messy in there. All right? Questions. All right, so we're going to bring up the brothers. All ready? People? See? Yeah, so that'll be coming out soon. And there's a lot of reasons why we need a lot of water in the body.
Distilled water.
Distilled water, again, on an as-needed basis. What distilled water does is it doesn't have any minerals. So what distilled water winds up doing is pulling minerals out of the body. Okay? And if you have a situation where you have a lot of heavy metals in the body,
Wouldn't distilled water pull it out also?
distilled water would be cool. It'll pull some of that stuff out. But mind you, it's blind. So it's pulling minerals out. It's not just pulling out maybe what you want. It's getting everything. So, it's going to be pulling out a lot of the calcium, magnesium, a lot of the things that you needed that naturally, because minerals, that's another problem with the alkaline thing. They don't measure alkalinity when they're dealing with water in terms of mineral content. They measure alkalinity in terms of carbonates and bicarbonates. Okay, and a lot of minerals like calcium and magnesium are naturally alkalizing to the body. The most potent way to alkalize your water is to actually just squish a couple lemons in here. Lemons are very powerful as far as alkalizing the body, and they are complete. They have everything in them. They have full of electrons. That's why they taste so bitter. Grapefruit, bitter tasting things are very good for the body.
Lemon juice concentrate or fresh?
No. You gotta get them lemons, bro. Chop them joints, squish them joints. You gotta put some work in. Yeah. I mean, if you could take it, I eat them. People that know me, they be like, "Oh my goodness, is he eating another lemon?" I eat them. You know what I'm saying? Peel it, eat it like an orange.
Seedless lemons?
No, seedless, nothing. Okay, anything seedless you want to stay away from, and the most hydrating fruit used to be the watermelon. Okay, hence watermelon. Okay, but you see, they got busy on them watermelons, so you want to stay away from them watermelons with the white seeds. So they are seeded, but you want to stay away from the white seeds. What's turning them white is they have something in them called the killer something or other that like Monsanto and those big food companies are using to control the reproduction of the fruits by themselves. Because when you put natural fruits and vegetables out there, they grow on their own. That's the thing about natural. They don't need man's intervention to grow. Put them in some good soil and they just do what they do. However, once you start dealing with contracts and this and that, and you can't grow this much of a yield per year, and you got to have 100 watermelons. If you have 101, it's a fine. If you have 99, it's a fine. So they got stuff in the fruits and veggies that control their reproduction. Problem is, when you eat it, it controls your reproduction also. Okay, it shuts down your reproduction, and that secretly is one of the reasons why there's so many people in China. Okay. Conventionally, when we think of China, we think they eat fried rice. Every time we see Chinese people in a movie, they eat rice. So in our mind, we think in rice. No. Okay, the number one food in China for a long time was watermelon. Okay, has a heavy content of manganese, and it makes you potent like an ox. Okay, so you get watermelons, yams, those produce twins. Okay, so you and your wife want to get some twins. Y'all start knocking them sweet potatoes down. Get you some nice black seeded watermelons, it'll happen. Okay, I just had me a pair. Not theory. Okay.
Where can you get the seeded watermelons at?
You gotta work. You just gotta work and find your spot. Some of the small little Chinese fruit stands, they have them, because they don't, they know what time it is. No, nothing seedless at all, ever. But if you're gonna eat the watermelons, don't deal with the white seeds. Period. If you see any, like you might see 10 black seeds and 3 white seeds, don't eat it. Because the poison is all through the watermelon. Okay, the white seeds are just a sign that the poison is in there. Okay, so you don't want to deal with nothing seedless. That's why the grapes, grapes go back all the way to Osiris, Asar. Okay, that was the number one thing he taught. Grapes, Concord grapes. Okay, and you can barely even find Concord grapes right now. Period. Natural Concord grapes. They go bad in like 2-3 days. That's number one. So when you find them, they want to charge you damn near $11-12 for a handful. Okay, but that's how he civilized, a large portion, or that's what's attributed to his civilization as far as him teaching agriculture. Okay, he taught the purple to black grape. Okay, to cure endless amounts of diseases. And now if you go online, the Europeans, they got the grape cure out and things like that. And if you notice, slowly but surely, they've taken the grape juice out of the stores. Even the Welch's grape juice that was 16 ounces in the glass bottle for $1.50, they've taken that out. Go back in the store and check now. They were slick about this. They've taken that out and replaced it with a grape juice cocktail. And it's 20% grape juice. So you just gotta look on the side. No longer says 100%, it's 20%. You gotta get the half, you gotta get the bigger size if you want to get the 100% grape juice still. But it's worth it. That's what I drink. You know what I'm saying? It's powerful. It's still very healthy, and they actually selling resveratrol and all these kind of grape extracts of different aspects of the grape. Resveratrol is like the extract from the meaty part of the grape. Then they got grape skin extract, grape seed extract. You might as well just have a grape, because they selling the extracts for like $40-50 a bottle. You might as well just have a grape, then you get it all together, okay? And a lot of times, again, when you get this parts of a fruit, you don't get the whole entire nutrient. Like people will tell you, if you eat apple seeds, those are unhealthy. However, if you eat apple seeds along with the whole entire apple, it's nutritious for you, okay? Just like apricot seeds. Only you can't really find apricot seeds in the States, right? For the Caribbean folks, they know about the apricot seeds. Out there in Jamaica and things like that, they crush up the apricot seed, put it in a little tea, you know, bush tea, and you got 80-year-old men damn near building a house. Over here, you got cats 25, 30 years old taking pills to get the, you know, I mean, it's just a little crazy. But, you know, the reason is because they still dealing with a lot of the natural paradigm, and where the disconnect is a lot of times between the older generation and the younger generation is they can't articulate what they're doing or why it works. And the younger generation needs to know why and in detail. You know, why is that working? It does work. They just can't explain to you why it works because it's, you know, the transmission was different back then. People told you to do something and you did it because they told you to do it. It wasn't a whole bunch of explaining to go along with it. You're going to drink this regardless of how it tastes because I said so. Period. You know, and then you taught that to your children. Now the children is like, no, I'm not doing that and I'm out. Bam. You know, there's no control over the children, so a lot of the information that was handed down from mouth to ear, generation to generation, is no longer there. You know, so we got to kind of get back into a lot of those different aspects of communicating with each other and, you know, opening up a lot of communication with the elders and, you know, just listening.
For 1 second, let's plug this in and we're going to entertain you guys.
Okay, we're gonna get ready to go.
Okay.
You got no money? Can y'all hear us in the back?
I was actually checking.
How you doing? Everybody right?
Hey,
how y'all doing? I go by E-Boy, energy based on intelligence. Miss my dude, Gemstar. Well, come from Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? St. Louis, STL to Brooklyn or whatever the case is. And I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but I can only speak for myself. I just came into this whole, I just became aware probably last year. So all this so all this information is overwhelming, but the way it's like, I don't know if any other conscious artist is out there or whatever the case is, but I try to listen to certain conscious individuals' music, but it seems like they bombarded me with information and it's like I can't really get the gist of it or whatever the case is. But I want to listen to conscious music. So me and my dude just took it upon ourselves to try to create that type of music that will be entertaining for all ages, whether it be children or grown-ups. And the best way we came up with that method was to do a pill in the dog food method, which is we feed the people what they want, but then again we slip them what they need, which is information and inspiration, because without that we can't grow. You feel me? So, again, I go by E-Boy, energy based on intelligence, Gemstar.
And conscious like 3 months ago?
I knew more names.
I switched totally up. I was on the street. I switched totally. That's another note.
The type of music we about to perform for y'all today is definitely something that I feel is a banger. It's something that I feel that is inspirational and entertaining at the same time. But y'all gonna give us y'all feedback on it, man. We're just gonna go out there. You already know I come from Brooklyn.
Meditated.
Got
my crystals on.
Thank you so much. Shout out to all the new covenant family members in the building. This song is for y'all. This is how we live it right now. Feel me? Can't worry about your hand. Listen. Bow down, you are staring at greatness. I know them broke, intimidated people gon' hate this. They can't stand it when you focus and you got a purpose. You're ready for the takeover. I know you're nervous. Bow down, you are staring at greatness. I know them broke, intimidated people gon' hate this. They can't stand it when you focus and you got a purpose. You're ready for the takeover. I know you're nervous. I am on point, sharp as a razor blade. Money's not a problem, I create my pay. With my mind and my will, I can make a way. While be scared up in the economy going down the drain. I am trained to perform at my highest self. That's how I'm able to accumulate all this wealth. In this life you gotta learn how to move with stealth. Cause your enemy wanna see you burn until you melt. I stay focused on my life path. I flash forward to the future where I got cash. Now as being thrown at me left and right because of my past, my bad. I became serious, I'm a proud dad. I know that I came from a great legacy. So you know what I'm gon' pass down to my seed. This my new shit, a whole different recipe. Oh yeah, F you and your white supremacy. Bow down, you are staring at greatness. I know the broke, intimidated people gon' hate this. They can't stand it when you focus and you got a purpose. You're ready for the takeover. I know you're nervous. Bow down, you are staring at greatness. I know the broke, intimidated people gon' hate this. They can't stand it when you focus and you got a purpose. You're ready for the takeover. I know you're nervous.
You are staring in the direction of perfection. And for protection is my brain, no Smith & Wesson. Living legend, power in my speech. Hey, body strong as your weakest links. I'm energy in motion, feel me when I'm walking by. I'm true self, truth is, you believe in lies. You're down so low, you don't even believe the highs. So why cry if nobody's listening? All this extra shit to me is pollution. So stop and start a new revolution. My willpower make it rain on a sunny day. And go trust, yeah, this is what the money say. I'm a calculator, something ain't adding right. Hit my colors through the numbers, and if the math is right, King Jim Star, I see it in my afterlife. You will never get a picture, think of black and white. Bow down, you are staring at greatness. I know the broke, intimidated people gon' hate this. They can't stand it when you focus and you got a purpose. You're ready for the takeover. I know you're nervous. Bow down, you are staring at greatness. I know the broke, intimidated people gon' hate. They hate when you doing something. They can't stand it when you focus. That's fucking for life. People ready for the hard-over. I know you're nervous. You feel me? Black and noble, appreciate it. Thank you for this, Umar.
I like that. Yeah. We're about to do a little call and response right now. Right before Brother Polite jump on. I know you guys been following him, so you know he's moving with this movement called the tax lien, tax deed. You guys heard that? Alright, so we're gonna do a little call and response because we did a song pertaining to that. So when we say tax lien, we just need you to say tax deed. Real quick, ready?
Let's start right now.
Tax liens, tax deeds, tax liens, tax deeds. Yeah. I'm caking off for these houses. Tax liens, tax deeds, tax liens, tax deeds, tax liens, tax deeds. I'm caking off for these houses. 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 Tax liens, tax deeds. I'm caking off for these houses. Wow. I'm caking off for these houses. Wow. I'm caking off for these houses. How? Tax liens, tax deeds. Every day is my birthday. Caking off for these houses. Smoking on the side, cursing out my cow. Top left, bad, red Jasper on my dashboard. When it comes to this cash, all I gotta do is ask for it. Pass me mine, that
alkaline, you know what I'm sipping. My universe got me conscious, my universe been spinning. What you scared for? Use your head, boy. You already know I flex, arms swinging real low, juicing up that solar plex. Thinking me, dinosaur. You a mouse, nigga, stuffing on hard. Rick James in your house, nigga. I lean on him and put a lean on him. Get that whole strip. Going green on, I'm caking off of these houses. I'm caking off of these houses. I'm caking off of these houses. How? Tax lien, tax deeds. I'm caking off of these houses. I'm caking off of these houses. I'm caking off of these houses. How? Tax liens, tax deeds. Tax deeds and tax liens. Got a nigga moving at max speed. You can catch me with a black queen on my backseat, but I'm paying cheese. I activated my sovereignty, so now your ass gotta work for me. Need the streets fixed and the schools built and the businesses in my community. Life is easy when you got money in your pocket. I only invest in assets, so of course I'm making profit. I predict my future, so you can call me a prophet. And yeah, so of course they wanna gossip. Stop it. The hot topic is buy houses with no mortgages. Life of Kane don't know the rules, and you might as well just call me quit. No matter where on earth I'm at, shit, I survive in forests. Got a godlike mentality, so I always will be fortunate. I'm caking off of these houses. I'm caking off of these houses. I'm caking off of these houses. How? Tax liens, tax deeds. I'm caking off of these houses. I'm caking off of these houses. I'm caking off of these houses. How? Tax liens, tax deeds. Tax liens, tax deeds. Tax liens, tax deeds. Tax liens, tax deeds. I'm caking off of these houses.
The sun is in the sky, but I refuse to smile. Baby, still darkness lingers in my mind.
Black and Noble Bookstore, Broad, Erie Avenue, the strongest in the city.
Black people are in the 8th year of the 21st century, and as such, we must begin to think seriously about where we want to be in the next century. The next 92 years are probably going to be the most important in our existence as a race or a global people. Because if we do not get our acts together, we might be lost in history forever. We might think it to be a joke when I say that we might one day be in a museum somewhere enclosed in a glass case, listed under people who used to exist who are now exterminated. But until we begin to totally take control of our destinies by becoming independent in every avenue of our existence, we are on the road to extermination. Medically, we need our own hospitals. Educationally, we need our own schools. Economically, we need to produce our own jobs. Religiously, we need to have a black liberation theology that is more than rhetoric, but is based on practical standards of application. Black people, hear me when I tell you that the end of your existence has been announced by your enemy if you do not begin to think seriously and independently about yourselves. Start guarding your minds. At least one day out of every 7 days, I want you to turn off the television unless there's pro-African material on it. Turn off the radio unless there's pro-African material on it. I want you to close any book that is not non-fictionally based on our history or our future progress. In order for us to get serious about building up ourselves, we have to present ourselves with serious propaganda information that goes right to the heart of our existence and inspires us towards an action. Start saving your money. Start investing in businesses. Buy property, not just in America, but all across the world. Prepare to go to Africa. Until you get to Africa and get your spiritual battery charged, you will never be able to effectively go to war here with the European. There is something spiritual about our need to connect with our ancestral homeland that those of us who do it tend to operate on a higher level of vibration than those who don't do it. Keep your children off psychotropic medicine. Ritalin and Prozac and Strattera, Zoloft and Cycler were not designed to help black children. They were designed to Frankenstein black children. Keep your boys and girls out of special education. So many of our kids are diagnosed as retarded and learning disabled and emotionally disturbed and autistic, not because anything is wrong with them, but because the European educational system, as designed, is not properly prepared to educate them the right way. Open up your own schools. Why are our churches only open 2 days a week? For Bible study and for mass meeting. That is a mass meeting for the alteration of your consciousness. We have to get those churches open all 7 days. Every night in the church, there should be a different form of education and community building going on. Simply put, if you do not plan your future, somebody else has it planned for you. Umar Abdullah Johnson, nationally certified school psychologist, Pennsylvania certified school psychologist, political scientist, educator. My job is to make sure your children get properly educated. My job is to make sure your children stay out of special ed. My job is to make sure your children don't drop out. My job is to make sure your children don't commit suicide or homicide. My job is to help you help your family. If you ever need to reach Brother Umar, you can hit me at 215-989-9858. Also, Umar the Psychologist at yahoo.com. That's UMARTHE Psychologist at yahoo.com. You can also get to me by visiting blackexperts.com or blackspeakers.com.